Alright, hi everybody, this is Bonkai922. I hope everybody enjoyed that ridiculous 33-second video I did about the trolling, the I'm fired up thing. Now, I got tagged, I figured I might as well do it, so I did it. And it was a quick vid. I'm getting a lot of praise for it and people are going crazy over it. But anyway, moving on. Bleach. Wow. Now, I know I complained last week, and I apologize, because this chapter was like, holy shit. This gets a 4 out of 5. This one was great. This was just like, fantastic. There was one thing that kind of, well, actually, one thing that didn't confuse me. It didn't confuse me at the least, because I understood it, what was meant by it. But, this was just, pretty much, this was just a confirmation. This was a big-time confirmation chapter coming in and saying that's what it is. That's where it's at. So, and, this was, 529 review. This one was called Everything But the Rain. And I believe there's like an extra title there called something. But let's get into it. Okay, we got the beginning of it. We got, Urutsu, Phoenix. He's basically telling Renji, he's saying to Renji that, he would have, not a single word out of him, and saying how, and the manga here, translation, said that how Kabiru would get fired up. And everyone was dying. They were like, ah! But thank God we have Manga Stream. Because Manga Stream does correct translations. And Manga here does. So, what he tells Renji instead, he says, oh, I figured you would have thrown a shitstorm and stick up for your buddy. Which means you realized it too, didn't you? And saying that no matter how much Ichigo goes in how much he puts into it, into training, in this training regimen for the Asuchi, it doesn't matter. Because he's not recognized as a real Shinigami. And he basically goes into details, Phoenix saying, that he's every Asuchi I've ever built. Every Shinigami is given an Asuchi with due diligence and training. They forge into their own Zanbakuto. And that basically, that fundamental basis and link that is shared between the Shinigami and their Zanbakuto. It is infallible. Officers, captains, even those in the Zero Squad, even someone like Kenpachi Zaraki, who had the balls to steal an Asuchi from a corpse. And he's basically saying this. He's saying he tries to pinpoint to them all. Since the establishment of the Soul Society, no Shinigami is able to release their Zanbakuto without my Asuchi. Not a single one. And that's how I knew it. How he knew that Ichigo wasn't going to be able to do it. And it was futile for him to go any further. I knew, you knew, he was the only one in the dark. Before he can go any further, he has to realize where his roots lie. Now, before I continue with this review, there's one thing I want to bring up. What Phoenix said there, and I'm grateful for Kubo. Oh man, for Kubo to go back and to go back to the souls, to where Phoenix was talking to Renji, that was amazing. That was amazing in my opinion. There was good pacing there. That was great. Go back there and explain. Great. He mentioned there, Phoenix, where his roots lie. And he says that for him to go any further, he needs to know where it is. That's a hint. Because, and tell me what you guys think about this. You put it in the comments. What if what he means there, when he says where his roots lie, where does his allegiance lie? That's just a suggestion, though. I'm not making any suggestion. I'm not putting it out there saying, oh yeah, he's gonna go with Bach. the Quincy's. But no, I'm just making a suggestion there. And then after that, we have basically the flashback. This is 529, Everything But the Rain, the Rudiments, and the not-so-distant past. Now, I should mention, this happens after Turn Back the Pendulum. This happens after Turn Back the Pendulum, after Shinji and the gang left. So, Kisuke is not there. Yoruichi is not there. So this is after Turn Back the Pendulum, 100 years ago. And we got basically Rangiku, a very young Rangiku. Same Rangiku, I think this was during the Rancor arc, when we had a flashback, and she first met Hitsugaya. I don't know if anybody remembers that. During that scene in the manga. During that scene, this is that Rangiku, more or less. And she's looking for a captain, and then he takes this tray, throws it in the tree. And she's a vice captain, so you gotta, and when I found about that she was a lieutenant, I was like, I was going crazy, because I was like, she's still a lieutenant! I was going crazy over that. But at least to say she's a lieutenant, and she takes out her captain, and she just bashes the tray in his face and saying, hurry up, don't make me drag. She says, don't make me drag you back and do all your paperwork. And then, dun dun dun! Picture of Shiba. ISSHIN Shiba. So it's revealed. Dun dun dun! Cue the high tense music. And there's Rangiku. It's not a surprise. Come on. This was just this chapter was basically major confirmation. And after that, we find out him as the captain of 10th Squad, which makes sense for one reason only. There was no 10th Squad mention in Turn Back the Pendulum. So you can guess how that went. They just didn't show it. Kubo decided to put that on the back burner and say, no, I'm not going to show it now. I'm going to show it later. So he might have still been there at that time, but that's just speculation. So anyway, just nonsense going on here and there. And he's explained, sorry for Rangiku damaging private property and stuff. And he's like pushing it in her face about, you always throw my status into your face, and so on and so forth. Man, she calls Rangiku a succubus, a manipulator, a hellion. Will you just give it a rest already? And then he states this one line, and he says to her, thanks to all the running around you've been doing, searching for me. The sweat glistening off your chest is really accentuating your breasts. Nice job. Oh, that was funny. So that was basically nonsense going on, and so on and so forth. And that's when we see Hitsugaya, third seed. Now, this really blew my mind away, because the reason I say it, I know this is Hitsugaya, I know he's a prodigy, but this proves it, without a shadow of a doubt, that he really is a prodigy. Because, really think about it, he's a third seed. So he jumped over Rangiku to become captain. And he's just saying, I finished filing the reports, and he's like, Jojo, you're a genius. At this rate, you'll be the next captain. And he says, and this is a good point to think about. He says, "Oh my God, if you're lieutenant, no, Rangiku, if you're a lieutenant, are you nuts? Like, this squad would wither away to nothing." I thought that was funny. So pretty much, he's saying all about his Bankai training and so on and so forth. It's almost done. His Bankai training, and then he brings up an interesting point, Hitsugaya, about 2 months ago, a report about a Shinigami who got killed while out patrolling in the city of Narukishi. And I was taking a look at K-King's review, and that is the same area that the Fullbringers are from. Though I don't know. I don't know how that's 100% certain. But anyway, what ends up happening is, he's remembering that report correct, and he's saying that Izuga's basically telling him that the culprit is still at large, and there's been more than 2 casualties. And ISSHIN then says, "Oh, I'm going to go out. You'll leave the rest of you guys." And he's saying, "I only take a couple of days, 2 days tops to cover me for all I'm gone." And that's when Rangiku goes after him, and Toshiro tells her, "No, we'll only be a hindrance to him as we are, so we need to leave him, and do what he has to do." And then after that, the mastermind appears. And it's pretty much Aizen, Gin, and Kaname. And they're saying that, the successful forced holification and a few hollows, but he's telling him that basically that they can't do it on humans or Shinigami because it's unstable. And he's like saying, "To be expected, it's only a matter of time before we locate Shinji or Akko's group and fight misfits." He's saying that our hollow, these experiments, we'll lure them out sooner or later. 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll just wait patiently by. Everything is proceeding accordingly. And it's funny and that's pretty much what happened. After that, that was it. And that's pretty much what happened. And that's the point in this translation from my stream. It says, "proceeding accordingly." That was mentioned to plan. They left that out. I was a little upset with that. But anyway, that's what we were going to have. Okay, now, overall, this was a solid chapter. 4 out of 5. No questions asked. Now, this is going to open a shitload of things. He's going to answer so many questions now, Kubo. He's on the right path. It's like, we already found out about ISSHIN. We know what squad he was a part of. We know who his lieutenant was. We know everything. And we now know something else. How Hitsugaya became the captain of Squad 10. That's just crazy. And here's another thing. Remember what Aizen said? "I know how you were born, Ichigo, blah, 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 blah." Well, guess what? Here's the proof. He's been monitoring, trying to find hollows and shit. He's trying to get Shinji's crew again. He's probably going to go to the world of the living. This chapter confirmed a lot of shit. But most importantly, it's opening the doors to reveal more shit. It's like, damn. Now, and the pacing was so good in this chapter because of several things. Number 1, Kubo went back to the Soul Society and went back to Phoenix and Renji. I fucking love that. That was awesome. Then he goes into the flashback, and it's really good. Now, where we go from here is anybody's guess. But I would rest assured that probably what we're going to get is ISSHIN going, and it's probably going to be some kind of hollow he's going to fight. Maybe something we've never seen before, because remember, Aizen did experiments with hollows and shit, and it might be a hollow that is doing this. And this might lead to his first encounterment with Misaki. But, gotta wait on that. And another thing that needs to be answered, which we're gonna get the answer. Ryukin. Yeah, Ryukin. That's gonna be answered too. And it might be answered more quickly than we thought. So, this chapter was great. Another confirmation. Great chapter. I don't know what chapter was better. Gotta get, as great as Bleach was, I'm gonna give a slight edge to One Piece because of what happened in the end. But still, Bleach was fucking awesome this week. Now, I'm looking forward to next week. Probably another flashback. We're probably going to get more info. This is going to be one hell of a chapter, people. These flashbacks is revealing so much stuff that it's just going to build and build, and eventually, obviously, after this is done, Ichigo is going to have to go through some kind of training regimen and get back on his feet. So, and that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on the chapter. What do you guys think? Comments below. You know the story. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that troll vid I did for 33 seconds for what it was. And, yeah. And that's all I got for you guys. This is Bankai Night 22. ISSHIN. For the motherfucking win. Aizen. Come on. Aizen. All according to plan. Come on. You gotta do that shit. Alright.